There was a time when everyday gadgets weren't just simple tools. They were small wonders of their age. They carried the magic of innovation and the excitement of progress. From kitchens to living rooms, from offices to schools, these inventions promised to make life easier, faster, and sometimes even more glamorous. But as decades passed and technology moved forward, many of these gadgets lost their place in our lives. Sleeker, smarter, and digital replacements pushed them aside. Today, they rest only in attics, antique stores, or faint family memories. So, let's travel back in time and rediscover 15 forgotten gadgets that once changed everyday life. 1. Hand crank egg beaters. In the days before electric mixers, kitchens buzzed with the sound of hand crank egg beaters. Housewives used them to whip eggs, cream, and cake batter with nothing but arm power and patience. Their spinning blades were simple yet magical, turning breakfast into a little performance. Families gathered around to taste the results. But once electric mixers entered every kitchen, the humble crank was quietly pushed aside, now remembered as a symbol of homemade love. 2. Soda siphons. Stylish homes of the early 20th century often had soda siphons on the dining table. Guests watched in delight as plain water transformed into fizzy soda with just a press of the lever. It was both entertainment and refreshment. For a while, the siphon was a mark of sophistication. But when bottled and canned sodas flooded the market, the sparkling siphon slowly fizzled out. Today, it's a collectible from a time when even drinking water had a touch of glamour. 3. Slide viewers. Before smartphones and digital albums, reliving a vacation meant pulling out a slide viewer. Families would sit together, passing the little device around as each click revealed a frozen memory, a beach, a birthday, or a family picnic. Children especially loved peeking through its lens. But as digital photos became instant and endless, the magic of holding a tiny memory in your hand vanished. 4. Button-hook tools. In the Victorian era, fashion was full of tiny buttons on shoes, gloves, and dresses. Button-hook tools saved the day, slipping buttons quickly into place and sparing sore fingers. They were small, handy, and often beautifully decorated. But once zippers, snaps, and elastic replaced buttons, the hook lost its purpose. Now, it survives as a delicate reminder of how even simple tools shaped daily life. 5. Hand crank ice cream freezers. Summer once meant gathering on porches with a hand-cranked ice cream freezer. Families took turns spinning the handle, laughing and waiting as cream slowly transformed into frozen sweetness. It was effort mixed with reward, but electric freezers and ready-made ice cream ended this ritual. Today, the crank freezer remains a memory of community, family, and the joy of homemade treats. 6. Clothes manglers, wringer washers. Before washing machines spun clothes dry, wet laundry had to be squeezed through wringer rollers. Housewives turned heavy cranks, pressing out water while being careful not to catch their fingers. Though dangerous, they were once considered modern miracles. Automatic washers with spin cycles soon replaced them, leaving wringers behind as both a symbol of progress and struggle. 7. Flash cubes for cameras. The flash cube was photography's little burst of magic. Mounted on top of cameras, each cube carried 4 tiny flashes, turning night into day with a single bright burst. After every shot, the cube rotated with a satisfying click. Families used them to capture birthdays, weddings, and holidays. But as cameras grew smarter with built-in flashes, the cube burned out for good. 8. Butter churns. There was a time when butter didn't come from a store. It came from a churn in the kitchen. With rhythmic plunging, cream slowly thickened into golden butter. Children often helped, turning it into a family ritual. But supermarkets and ready-made products pushed the butter churn into history. Now, it's remembered as a symbol of self-sufficiency and old-fashioned flavor. 9. Mechanical adding machines. Long before computers, these heavy machines clicked and clattered in offices everywhere. Clerks pulled levers and pressed rows of keys to add numbers, filling ledgers with precision. The noise of gears turning was the soundtrack of business life. But once digital calculators arrived, these machines disappeared almost overnight, leaving behind only their iron bodies and faded paper rolls. 10. Kitchen wall phones with long cords. Every household once had a wall-mounted phone in the kitchen, with a cord that stretched halfway across the room. Teenagers whispered gossip while twirling the cord, parents paced while taking calls, and kids got scolded for tying up the line. It wasn't just a phone, it was a part of family life. Cordless and mobile phones ended the drama, leaving only the memory of tangled cords behind. 11. Record changers. Music lovers once stacked multiple vinyl records on a record changer, and the machine played them one after another. It was the closest thing to a playlist in the pre-digital world. Families filled their homes with hours of uninterrupted music. But when CDs and digital playlists arrived, record changers stopped spinning. Today, vinyl is making a comeback, but the changer remains a relic of convenience gone by. 12. Carbon paper sheets. In the office world of the 20th century, carbon paper was essential. A thin sheet placed between two papers allowed instant duplicates of every letter and invoice, but left smudges on hands, desks, and documents. Once printers and photocopiers became affordable, carbon paper crumbled into irrelevance. Still, the word carbon copy survives, a linguistic reminder of this messy little tool. 13. Electric percolators. Before drip machines and single-serve pods, percolators ruled the kitchen counter. They bubbled and hissed, filling homes with a rich aroma of coffee. Families gathered around their warmth every morning. But modern coffee makers slowly pushed them aside. Today, some still treasure their percolators, insisting that no gadget makes coffee quite the same way. 14. Shoe shine boxes with built-in brushes. In a time when polished shoes were a mark of pride, shoe shine boxes sat by the door. They held polish, brushes, and even little footrests to buff shoes to perfection. For businessmen, they were daily tools of respectability. But as casual shoes replaced leather in everyday life, shine boxes grew dusty, left behind by changing fashion. 15. Slide rules. Before calculators, the slide rule was the engineer's best friend. With sliding scales and careful precision, it solved complex problems in seconds. Students carried them proudly, mastering their craft through this simple yet powerful tool. But when electronic calculators arrived, slide rules were instantly retired. Today, they're admired as symbols of an age when mathematics was both art and discipline. Final thoughts. From egg beaters to slide rules, these forgotten gadgets once transformed daily routines, adding speed, flavor, comfort, and efficiency to life. They weren't just tools. They were companions of a generation that built the foundation of our modern world. Though technology has replaced them, their legacy lives on in memories, antiques, and the stories passed down through families. Which of these gadgets do you remember, or maybe even still own? Share your stories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this nostalgic journey, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to American Restored, and ring the bell icon so you never miss another trip into the past.